The engines now fire up for one final time, one last hurrah. Here it is, your final race of the 2023 Rotax Max Challenge Euro Winter Cup. It's the final for DD2 and DD2 Masters. Here is your starting grid. So on the front row, Teresa Babičková and Patrick Snolls Lokmelis. Row 2, Axel Sarniala and Martin van Leeuwen. Michael Rosina and Emils Akmans, row 3. Enzo Bol and Maxim Dirks, row 4. Maxim Sechurko and Finn Stiak, row number 5. Row 6, it's Tom Bracken and Leonardo Baccaglini, with Gregorio Bertocco and Kylian Gerhardt rounding out row 7. Row 8, it's Jules Cousin and the pole sitter for DD2 Masters, Martina Stankiewicz, last year's Winter Cup champion. No Daniel Carmona I've seen on the grid in 17th, due to be alongside Jonathan Wimore, who will be in 18th position. David Perel will start 19th. I did see Sebastian Schou's kart being pulled off. He was due to start 20th. Row 11, Jamie Smith and Nicolas Guillaume. Tino Egeskov and Christophe Capitan, row 12. Raul Vargas in 25th. 26th due to be Andreas Neumann, but no kart was on the grid before they went away. Jere Kokalainen on 27th. 28th due to be Alejandro Barambillo, but no kart present. Antonio Teixeira and Nicola Picot rounding out the 30-strong grid. No Lawrence Seyfried, having been sidelined as a result of the incident in Heat 3 yesterday. So the drivers now making their way towards turns 17 and 18, now starting to bunch up. Drivers will be in the holding pen at the dummy grid and then will be released once the start has gotten going. So it's Teresa Babičková and Patrick Snolls Lokmelis on the front row, both running BRL ARTs. Revs rise, the DD2 and Masters final gets going. We are lights out and underway. Another good start by Babičková as textbook. Axel Sarniala looking to get through for second, but has to resort to staying in third ahead of Martin van Leeuwen. But now Lokmelis up the inside through turn 5 on Babičková to now take the lead on the opening lap. So through they go across the top of the hill, side by side for around about 6th or 7th, well, for 7th position. And someone made that stick very nicely. Down into turn 12 for the opening time of this race. Lokmelis leads the way. Babičková second, third Sarniala, fourth Van Leeuwen from the Netherlands. As they're all jockeying for position once again, but Babičková will have the run coming out of the final corner. Pulls to the right-hand side as the 406 from the Czech Republic and gets through on Lokmelis. Sarniala still holding on to that third position. And now Van Leeuwen sent it up the inside of the fin through turn number 5, and I think has gotten through. Yes, has gotten through. So at this moment, Teresa Babičková still now back in the lead, having retaken that position from Patrick Snolls Lokmelis. The field now making its way through onto the back straight. But Axel Sarniala definitely trying to keep Martin van Leeuwen very, very honest in the battle for third position as they hurtle across the line once again. 11 minutes and 50 still to go. So Sarniala fourth, Rosina, Akmans, Enzo Bol, Maxim Sechurko, Maxim Dirix, and also Leonardo Baccaglini rounding out the top 10. So all 30 drivers that were due to start, 4 of which were Carmona, Schun, Neumann and Barambillo, did start from the pit lane. And at the moment, well, Nicolas Picot, within 2 laps has gotten through and taken the class lead in DD2 Masters, having started from the back end of the grid. So at the moment, in terms of the top 3 to 4, well, top 5 in DD2 Masters, Nicolas Picot in the lead of it in 15th position. Tankovic is just behind him in 16th. And down to 20th is Jonathan Wimmer, runner-up last year. Christophe Capitan and David Perel, 22nd and 23rd respectively, ran out the top 5. Asani Ola back past Martin van Leeuwen from the Netherlands for P3. 10.5 minutes still to go in this final race of the 2023 Rotax Max Challenge Euro Wintercup here at Karting Campillos. Saniola managing to break away from Van Leeuwen, and now we'll start hunting down those in front. Just over 10 minutes still to go. Some battling a little bit further back, as in between Enzo Bol and Tom Bracken is Maxim Dirix. The 405 from Belgium with the most recognisable Art Deco race helmet I've ever seen on a driver in my entire life, which even has the coat of arms of Porsche on the front just below the visor. And that is the battle for 8th position. Saniola has been pushing quite hard to the point where he's just under the 1 minute 2.4s, 1 minute 2.396 on the conclusion of lap 4, which means he's honing in on Patrick Snols-Lockmellis just up ahead. The 418 representing Latvia with the MRG Racing squad. And now great move up the inside of turn 17 by Maxim Dirix on Enzo Bol to take the position. That promotes him up to 8th place as Enzo Bol drops to 9th. And just behind him and Tom Bracken, there's Kilian Gerhardt from RN Concept, the team run by Morgan Riche. And Riche now sends it up the inside. It was quite a good move there from Jules Cousin, from Kilian Gerhardt up the inside of Tom Bracken. And that nearly caught out Leonardo Baccaglini in the process, who's got, looks to be Finn Stiak in the 439, which is the case. The elder brother of Janis Stiak, who was in action just a few moments ago in the senior Rotax final. But with the top 3 running in the mid 102s, they are starting to build a gap over Martin van Leeuwen, who is down in 4th position. In the second heat yesterday, Van Leeuwen did have a little bit of strife and ended up a little bit further down than he would have liked to have been, more than likely towards the bottom part of the top 10. Up the hill once more, 30 seconds until we hit the halfway point of this race. And in the meantime, there has been a development in the DD2 Masters class, because now Martinas Stankovičius is leading and is currently 15th position. Nicolas Picot has dropped down to 20th position. So the pre-final was a pretty bad time for Nicolas Picot. But he still has an opportunity, with half of the race still remaining, plus an additional lap, to get back and close on in. And now Lockmelis again trying to go through on the lead. There it goes. It happens again, this time through turn 17. Lockmelis on Babichkova. And now here comes Saniala. Three-way scrap from the lead. Game on. Hedge your bets, folks, because I can't predict a winner out of either of these three. But a great dive up the inside. Clean as silk from Patrick Snolls Lockmelis to get through on Teresa Babichkova for the race lead. The top three were covered by just over a tenth and a half after the completion of lap 7. And now Saniala looking for an opportunity. Babichkova keeps it pinned on the racing line. Goes defensive into turn 16. And now Saniala does exactly the same on the very next lap. Through goes the Finn to take second position away from the 406 from the Czech Republic. Now these two have got to start working together, because if Patrick Snolls Lockmelis gets any further away, their chance of becoming the Wintercup champion for 2023 will fade into obscurity. But sometimes this may be part of the strategy. You only have a limited amount of tyres, and sometimes you have to hold a little bit back in reserve. And there is, Emils Akmans is out, I'm afraid. He was doing so well. That was a real shame for the 454 from Latvia for MKC Motorsport. 4.5 minutes still to go. Martinas Stankovic now into 14th past Jamie Smith, still holding on to that class lead. Now make that 13th with Emils Akmans' sudden retirement. Just under 4 minutes to go. Don't think the story's quite over yet, folks. Things are heating up a little bit behind the top 4 drivers as there is a battle for 5th place. Michael Rosina and Maxim Sichurko are not that far from each other. Maxim Dirix is closing in on them, however. Top 3 covered by 9/10 after 11 minutes of racing. But Saniala is trying to push. He was over 0.2 of a second quicker than the race leader. And Axel Saniala is right with Patrick Snolls Lockmelis going through into turn 17. Out of the final corner, the Finn based out of Espoo will go for the race lead. Will he fire it up the inside through turn 1? He thinks better of it at this juncture. But Saniala was a lot deeper on the brakes going into that final right-hand hairpin. Just under 120 seconds, plus an additional lap of racing remain in the 2023 Rotax Max Challenge Euro Winter Cup. As Saniala is bidding for the title of Winter Cup champion. Lochmelis is about 4 to 6 kart lengths in front as they hurtle their way down to turn number 16 once again. Deep on the brakes goes Saniala. Not close enough to effect a move, but can he get the drag coming out of the final corner? He's 2 to 3 kart lengths behind. Gap between first and second was just under 2/10. And now Saniala once again going up the hill, looking to be a bit more on poise. Plus he's also got the added benefit of the slipstream. And once these two start battling, you can bet your bottom dollar that Teresa Babišková will be closing in on them as a direct result. If they start fighting with just over 60 seconds plus an additional lap to go, she will be in the mix, so will Martin van Leeuwen from the Netherlands. Down the mid part of the straightaway, through into turn 12. So once we cross the finish line in just a couple of moments, we'll be on to lap number 14 out of 15, so we'll have 2 to go. Still very close between the top two, with 22 seconds across as they come across the line, less than 2/10. Saniala needs to really find another gear and get on with the business at hand. Timer now expires. The penultimate lap of the Winter Cup is very much underway. So we've got just over 2 kilometers of racing left to go. Saniala needs to now put it all on the line. And he got very late on the brakes through turn number 12 into 13. Lochmelis has been precise. Now Saniala gets very close again, under brakes, through turn 16, sweeps wide into 17. What's he going to try coming out of the final corner? Last lap board of the weekend is on. Axel Saniala pulls to the outside of Lochmelis as they hurtle into turn number 1. Saniala trying to get the undercut, doesn't quite make it work. Now sweeps to the outside through turn 5. Can he get underneath the Latvian and try and get himself a little bit of space going through into turn 7? Not quite. Still a couple more opportunities for the Finn Axel Saniala to get through. And that in turn, as I said, is going to bring Teresa Babišková back through into this. But she might be a bit too far away for anything to transpire unless something happens in between the two leaders. Turn 13, now 14. 4 more corners remain. Down the back straight. Slight right kink into 15, now into 16. Saniala has got to go for a drag race to the line. Through the penultimate corner. 1 more corner remains. Out of the final turn. Patrick Snolls Lochmelis takes the DD2 crown, and we wait for DD2 Masters. And it's 2 in a row for Martinas Stankevičius from Lithuania. A second Winter Cup crown provisionally in the pocket for the 5:33. But there is your new Rotax Winter Cup DD2 champion. Take a bow, Patrick Snolls Lochmelis. That was beautifully done. So Lochmelis takes the win by just over 2/10 of a second ahead of runner-up Axel Saniala, who gave as good as he got all the way through until when he got up into second position. Teresa Babišková did a credible job to still finish in 3rd place, ahead of outgoing Winter Cup champion Martin van Leeuwen. Maxim Sečerko takes 5th for Lithuania, ahead of Maxim Dedix, Michael Racina, Enzo Bol, Kilian Gerhard, and Italy's Leonardo Baccaglini rounding out the top 10. Finn Stiak, Tom Bracken, and DD2 Masters Winter Cup champion for a 2nd year in a row, Martinas Stankevičius, Jamie Smith, Nicolas Guillaume, Jules Cousin, Tino Egeskov, Gregorio Bertocco. Nicola Picot is the runner-up this year, ahead of third-place driver, runner-up last season in the DD2 Masters class, Jonathan Wimo. Christophe Capitan, Raul Vargas, Daniel Carmona, David Perel, Jere Kokalainen, Sebastian Schou, Antonio Teixeira, Alejandro Barambillo, Andreas Neumann rounding out the 29 that finished the race, with Emils Akmans unfortunately retiring with disappointment on lap 8. The final calm before the storm as the final race was set to get underway for the 2023 Rotax Max Challenge Euro Winter Cup. Teresa Babachkova had been the dominant force in DD2 all weekend long. All smiles behind the race helmet before the visor went down, as Axel Sarniala would be one of the big opponents for her this weekend in the final. The drivers would go into the tram lines, the Rotax engines would roar into life, and we would be lights out and underway ahead of 14 minutes, plus an additional lap of racing. With Babachkova initially taking the advantage, Axel Sarniala attempted to get through past Loch Melis for second position, but would have to remain in third, as Martin van Leeuwen made sure he was in fourth place. A change of lead between Loch Melis and Babachkova happened on a number of occasions during the race, especially going into a couple of corners, most notably turn 5 and also the first turn. Maxime Dirix was also showing his dance moves in the DD2 class, and so was the 444 of RM Concepts, Kylian Guerrin. But then there was this attempt from Patrick Knowles-Loch Melis up the inside of Teresa Babachkova through turn 17, whilst Axel Sarniala was hunting the pair down, as the Latvian would then take the lead. Later on, Sarniala would then pull the same move on Babachkova at turn 17 and then go hunting after Loch Melis. Emils Akmans from Latvia was disappointed beyond recognition as his 454 chassis decided to conk out at the top part of the circuit. But at the end of it all being said, Patrick Knowles-Loch Melis would go into battle with Axel Sarniala, with Sarniala hunting down the 418 from Latvia, giving it his all, but Loch Melis emerged triumphant as the new 2023 DD2 Winter Cup champion, and with that, Martinas Stankiewicz took the Winter Cup crown for DD2 Masters for the second year in succession.